Okay, it says I'm live. Let me see if I can get some people in here. Hope my signal's good. Hope we can get started here. As a lot of people will see that I'm at the beach. I got my beach. I got my beach. Well, hi there, Eddie. How are you? Yeah, I've got my beach theme in the background. We're down here at Hilton Head. We had to come down and do some work with our trucks in Savannah. So we're down here in Hilton Head, South Carolina. I'm gonna try to tell you what went on this week. We've had a real busy week. We've had a real busy week at the store. The Napa store's been doing real good and getting better every day. We're trying to promote it. We've got a grand opening that we're going to do in the second week in April, and that's look shaping up to look good. And we're going to have a real good turnout for that. The trucking business has been a little bit, it's worked me pretty hard this week, and I've had one of the worst accidents, unfortunately, that I've ever had in the trucking business this week. I had hey, Ponca, how are you? Uh, I had one of my drivers that flipped over the rear box on Interstate 77 coming out of Charleston, West Virginia. He was in a rain. It was a rainy situation, and he got hit by a real hard wind and made him lose control, and he flipped the rear box on the trailer. So it was not a good thing. It was not a good thing at all. Yeah, that was horrible. Yeah, it was. It's and going to be costly on my part too, because the insurance on that, I have to pay a good bit of the insurance on that. Deductible's really high for that, and fortunately, he was not hurt. It kept everything upright and on the top box, but that wind, and if people that have ever driven in the wind situation, yeah, he was pulling doubles, and he was in a curve going down a hill, and a crosswind hit him and made him lose control, and he had to correct. And when he corrected, it flipped the rear box. So it was not a good thing. It was not a good thing. So it's a situation I've never had to deal with. I have, in the 32 years that I've been pulling doubles, this is the first time one of my drivers has ever had to deal with something like that. Yeah, yeah, and it was just a rear box, and it laid it over to the right, which did not affect anybody else. So it was terrible. How are you, Chris? Yeah, I'm doing pretty good considering. As I was telling him about the driver who laid over, it was Friday's when it happened too. Uh, he laid over a rear box on a trailer coming out of West Virginia, and did not hurt anybody. Just damaged the trailer. Didn't even lose any packages or anything like it. Didn't split it open. He wasn't doing that fast. I mean, he was doing fast enough, but he was doing what he had to do, I guess. Chris, I hope you're doing fine out there in the Midwest. Well, the wind caused him to lose control. Now, I will say this: I have yet to find many times that the driver is vindicated on something like that. It'll have to go before a review board with FedEx, and then they will make the ultimate decision. I don't have any input other than showing them the facts. I've got a video of it that they can view, and they'll make their decision on that. And I can't do anything else about that. Unfortunately, the boy may lose his job over that, because that's one thing that if you turn something over, they're going to dismiss you. I mean, he's suspended as it stands now, but unfortunately, he may lose his job, but we'll see. But that happened late Friday afternoon, and he was on his way back from West Virginia, and that's the unfortunate thing. So I'll catch the wrath uh, of FedEx come Monday morning. I've already talked to some of the officials, and I've done what I can do. But it will be determined later, of course. Like you said, it's tough. It's back to life. It's when you're out here doing, you know, when you're doing things, things happen. I mean, whether you're doing construction work or trucking or anything else, and you got the human element involved, things will happen. Things will, you have a tendency to have things go wrong. Uh, we're not autonomous in no and in no way, shape, or form is this industry autonomous. So you have the element of dealing with people, and you're dealing with equipment and people, and not every time does this mesh up, and uh, that's what you get. That's what you get. I mean, it's tough, but it is what it is. It is what it is, and I have to deal with it. It's not a fun thing to deal with. I can tell you that. It's not fun financially, nor uh, they. The bad thing about it, as a contractor, they put the weight on me like I did it, and I'm not in control of every driver. Uh, I have control of myself, and I have control of putting good equipment out there. But as far as the driver, I'm at the mercy of whatever is in the driving pool out there. I tried to get the most qualified drivers and that sort of stuff. But as far as, being able to uh, control what the driver does, I can only coach them and saying, don't do this and don't do that. If, we have cameras in the truck. So if it sees something that the driver is doing illegally, more or less, or doing something that needs to be brought to my attention, the cameras will let us know. But, you know, I am not sitting beside them 24 hours a day watching them. So I'm only as alert, or I'm only alerted to their activities as much as the cameras will give it to us, or as I can see through attrition of the uh, or destruction of the trucks or whatever. Sometimes you'll have damage that gets done to a truck, and you'll say, well, what happened here? And a lot of times we'll have the drivers dumb out on you. Oh, I don't know, that was already done. Well, no, it wasn't already done. I've had a lot of damage done to equipment, and the drivers want to swear up and down that they didn't do it, but they're the only ones driving that piece of equipment. So unless Casper the Friendly Ghost came by and did it, they did it, and that's what we get into sometimes. Yeah, I mean, yeah, our trucks, are usually parked in a pretty safe spot, and trucks can get hit at a parking lot and a few things like that, and I've had that to happen. But usually, what I'm talking about is, somebody tearing a mud flap, pintle hook, scratching a truck in an area that another truck wouldn't have scratched it, or dented or something like that. Uh, just crazy things that are apparently done by the driver, but a lot of times we don't get drivers to admit it. Of course, sometimes I do. I mean, I'll have a guy say, "Hey, I tore a mud flap off," or "Hey, the pintle hook got bent. We twisted it a little bit tight." Some people will confess up to it, but a lot of times, the majority of them will do a little damage here and there, and they go, "Whoops," better not say anything about that. And then I'll see it when it comes back in for maintenance, and I go, well, let me just fix it. I kind of just fluff it off and go, that's part of doing business. And I can't reprimand them on every single thing. I can do some reprimand, but it's tough as a small fleet owner. It's tough to to do that because we're in a hard situation of, do I've got to maintain good drivers, and I've got to uh, be able to cover my loads. I mean, my biggest thing is I don't have the luxury of saying, all right, you're gonna take off. I'm just gonna not run that run for a week. I can't do that. I have to, just like this one that I've had to suspend this boy on. I've had to put a substitute driver immediately in it. Had to put one in it yesterday, and I'll have to put one in it that will be able to run it until I get a definitive answer if he can stay or go. And so, that's where we're at on that. It's tough. It is really tough. Yeah, I'm trying to catch up on my reading there at the same time. Yeah, I'm responsible for everything on the truck. Now the trailer, of course, is FedEx's trailers, so I don't do anything with the FedEx trailers. But the truck itself, I am the responsible party for everything on the truck. So if anything, I mean, they're my trucks. I own the trucks, so anything that happens to the trucks, I have to pay for. So that's uh, that's where I'm at as a contractor. I mean, the only thing that FedEx owns is the trailers and the converter dollies, and of course all the freight and everything. And I'm the responsible party for anything mechanically, physically, whatever on the trucks. Those issues are mine. And I'm also responsible for the drivers too. So the drivers are my responsibility. The truck, the power unit, is my responsibility, and then everything else is FedEx's responsibility. So that's the way it is with the contract with them. And they don't care which power unit that I pull it with under within the realms of my contract. So I have a lot of spare trucks because of that issue. And that way, if a truck goes down, I can put another truck in its place while I'm working on that one, or repairing it, or whether it be minor or major or whatever. I mean, I sometimes I have to pull the units off completely and then just upgrade them. And that's what I did last year. I pulled off about 8 trucks and upgraded 8, maybe 10 trucks, and put completely new units in their place. And this next year, I'm gonna have to do similar. I don't know if I'll do 8. I'm trying to weigh it between what technology. Hey Tim, how are you? Uh, I'm trying to weigh it between the emerging technology that's coming out and everything, because I don't want to get caught in the crack, you might say, of buying too much too quick, because we have a mandate on 2024 that we have to have all of our equipment has to meet the minimum requirement of all this collision avoidance technology. This truck that had the problem yesterday, actually, or Friday, actually had that, which actually saved me financially. And had that been one of my older units and that very same thing happened, it would have cost me probably $10,000 more dollars just on my insurance. But because this truck had all that technology, uh, we we feel like, at least we'll have a little savior on that. I don't know. We'll see. I'll see how they do that and see what their results are. But I don't know what to say about this, but it's tough. It's really tough. That's the first time I've been uh, hit upon with something that dramatic, I guess. Well, one other time I did have about 15 years ago. I had a driver that ran across the median. He didn't flip the units, but he did terrific damage to a truck. He actually lost. He came up and hit another truck, lost it, and went across the median, and was still upright on the other side. But lost my truck. Now, that's the worst as far as a truck. He warped up that because of it going through the median and everything. It totally warped up, and we jackknifed it too. Basically, it hit the back of the cab and trailers, and it did that. But between that and this one, this is the first time that I'd ever damaged FedEx's equipment this badly, I guess you might say. So this was a tough one. This was a tough one to swallow Friday. So I don't like those kind of days at all. But it happens. It's part of business. You have to go with the flow and just kind of continue on, and hopefully we won't have these kind of situations in the future. You gear yourself against this, but you don't know what's going to happen. Sometimes these things will kind of creep up on you really quick, and we'll see. It's tough to judge in these situations how they're going to rule, but I kind of feel like it's going to be against us. I don't know, but I kind of feel like it will be. And if they do anything differently, I'm going to be totally surprised. I mean, the norm will be, you'll need to dismiss that driver, and you're going to be charged as a chargeable accident in that case. I don't foresee them saying, "Oh, it was weather related, and we're going to let you off the hook." Just don't see it. I've seen too many others that were questionable that they don't tend to lean in the favor of the driver or the contractor. So we will see. But that's one thing. The other good thing, and like I said, our store has been doing really good, so we're happy with that. The Napa store is really picking up every single day. In other words, what we call our ticket count is going up. The amount of customers coming in and buying is increasingly getting better every single day. The amounts, of course, go up with that too if they're buying larger things. Sometimes, some days the ticket count's on up there, but the amount of purchases are not. But we're working on that and trying to get that up, and it's feeling pretty good. The other good thing is we're down here at Hilton Head today, and my wife and I are going to take a little cruise. I'm going to be like Gilligan. I'm going to take a 3-hour cruise. I hope I don't have the same results as Gilligan, but we're actually going to an island. So, now if I can catch Marianne and the rest of them over there, maybe I'll be in good shape. But we're going to Daufuskie Island. We're taking a ferry boat from Hilton Head over to Daufuskie, which is it's an island that you can't get to other than a boat. That's right off the coast of South Carolina and Georgia, and yeah, going to be cruising with Mike. Yeah, that's right, Chris. Yeah. You're going to be cruising the Carolinas with Mike, and this time I'm actually cruising. I'm cruising in a boat, and so that's good. I don't know. Have you gotten to hear my show, Chris? That's the thing. Now, have you actually heard my cruising in the Carolinas with Mike? That's what I wanted to know. If you've heard my actual radio show, as some of you may or may not know, I actually do a radio show that you can actually tune into on the internet. And let me I'm gonna type in. Let me see if I can get over here and type in the location that you can go to hear my radio show on Tuesday mornings between 10 and 12, and it's on KTC Broadcasting. .com, and you can go to that. Oh, you went to Catalina. Okay, so you've been off the island too. Okay, you will get to it. I know it. It's tough. Yeah, it's tough. It's not on the most advantageous time, I guess, but we we're doing a fill-in. 10 to 12 in the mornings is not always your hippest crowd, I guess you might say. But that, yeah, yeah. I mean, you can get it on your on the internet. That's the ktcbroadcasting.com. You can go on and click on it, and you can get to it. They have 3 stations, and I'm on 2 of them that day. I'm on 2 stations. I'm on WLON and WOHS. That's AM FM stations in our area in North Carolina, and I'm playing the oldies from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. That's the oldies. I'm playing some of the old rock and roll, and just tunes that I cruised with when I was young. But that's yeah. Well, hopefully we won't be on the ocean too long. We're actually just in that inlet. We're going to be. If you ever look up Daufuskie Island is. Hey, Aloysius, how are you? Yeah, yeah. I'll be live on the air on that. Tuesday mornings. But Daufuskie Island is an interesting island. It's like I said, it's south of Hilton Head, and in between that and Savannah, and it is a island that is not land. I mean, it's out there by itself because you can't get to it with a car. I mean, it's got, I guess, contributaries or rivers and everything else that keep it away from the mainland side. So they don't have a bridge or any way to get across the swamp over there to that. So you have to actually get on a boat, and we'll have to. I think it's an hour ride, 45 minutes to an hour for us to get over through a ferry boat over to Daufuskie, and then we're going to be over there. Now they got some big, beautiful homes, and I'm gonna take some film of it. I'm gonna take of course, my phones and cameras, and I'm gonna try to take some pictures of that and capture that for an upcoming podcast or YouTube, and try to put some pictures out for that. And hopefully, you'll like that. But one thing that makes it famous, or has a famous person, the singer John Mellencamp has a home over there. I don't know if we'll get to see it or not. We're going to be, what they allow is a golf cart. So we're going to be renting a golf cart, and then we're going to be out on the island for about 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours. And that way we can, just view what they have out there. It's a pretty good sized island, and they have a lot of homes out there, and of course, I guess the high dollar homes will be right on the beach, and then they have some inland a little bit. But it's somebody that wants to be completely away from everything, because, like I said, there's no road access. There's no cars over on that island, so you won't see cars. They have no cars. They have just golf carts, bicycles. All the supplies come in on ferry boat, so it's different. I don't know if they may have horses over there. I don't know. But that's what we have to deal with on that. But we'll see. I'll take some film of it. And they say it's a real pretty island, and different. I mean, I love it over here at Hilton Head too. I mean, Hilton Head is an island, but it's accessible because of all the bridges and everything else that we've got coming over here. I would imagine back in the day that Hilton Head was the same way, and it just got inhabited way earlier than Daufuskie did. Now, Daufuskie, there's a lot of heritage to it. I think with there's the early Indian tribes and a few others that were still the natives that lived down here, and there's a lot of history that you could look up about Daufuskie Island. So it's something to check out, and something that's isolated by itself. So if you want to be isolated, that's where it'll be, and all that sort of stuff. Well, guys, I'm not going to bore you too much today, and because I do have a lot to do, I'm going to kind of sign off a little bit early today, and get ready to go over to the Fusky Island. So I'm gonna kind of cut it short. I'm gonna say bye to everybody, and you've heard what I've talked about. Check me out on the internet with the show on Tuesdays if you get a chance on ktcbroadcasting.com. And I'm gonna go across the swamp, like you said, Aloysius. Yeah, I'm gonna head across the swamp and try to have a fun time with the wife today. So I'll see you guys, and y'all take care.